you. Thank you. Welcome to my very first episode of White Noise. I'm looking forward to all of this. I had to write down a little bit of a script just to be honest and up forward, because doing this and me life coaching people and telling you you can do this, and I was the one who was chickening out. So I am doing my own show, White Noise, and I'm scared shitless. But I'm going to have some fun with this. So let's take a look at this, and let me spiel off on a few things that are very important for people that have been waiting for me to do this. I want to thank all of you for joining in and tuning in. I want to be available to as many people as possible, that's for sure. I want to share as much of the psychic, clairvoyant, mediumship personality that I have to help as many people as possible who do tend to come on to this show. We're going to have some interesting guests. We're going to go live with quite a few people tonight who are clients, who are some newbies, and all of that, just to go and have some fun to see, hey, this is what we do. And other people will exactly see what you see when you see me talking and giving you information. So I want to go through a couple of these things. First of all, my intro. My name is Jim Hunt. I'm inviting all of you into my world, my life, my journey. I'm not much different than all of you. The only difference is I feel the psychic ability, and I'm a medium. We all make choices, good, bad, controversial, but all of these lessons that we've done are not failures. We've just taken those and tried to figure out what we can do better the next time. So in my life coaching side, that's what I do. As a psychic, when I'm giving you information from the dead, they are giving you the same type of information, and I'm just the conduit to that. I will look for interesting guests. It's important to do that because I think guests are a big deal and a big thing for all of us to continue wanting to listen to White Noise. I'm hoping that they'll be insightful, which they will be, a little bit mystic, and working in the world of paranormal. I'm looking for, I have a few paranormal investigators that I trust that will come on. Some are in Chicago, some are in, many of them are in Canada, and there are a couple in the United States. And I'll also be inviting some of the guests that I have been guests on other podcasts and have them in the hot seat for a change instead of me. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But tonight's show is all about you, the client, the people that follow me, the 2,650 change followers that I am thankful that I have, because I wouldn't be doing this without any of you. I want to thank you all for every message that I got today. Wishing me luck, break a leg. I don't want to do that anymore because it hurts, but it did hurt. And for you, the listenership, that's why I am here, because you brought me here. So tonight's podcast is really all about you, to see what I can do and my abilities to help you. So if you do come on and you ask Joe will send you a link to come on live with me to ask the question. And don't be shy. I am, and you shouldn't be. And I want the world to know and see your reaction, good, bad, or indifferent, when I do give you an answer, because a lot of you are amazing, amazing people who get shocked at some of the things I say, and you roll your eyes at half the things I do say on the other side of it. So I will try and answer as many questions as I can tonight for all of you, and just do what we need to do to make us all feel comfortable in this crazy world of ours. So that's page 2 gone away. So what I'm saying, hopefully it's the right way. Let's get this started. All right. So welcome. I have had this ability since the age of 5 that I can go back on. I can see things. I hear things. Aura colors were my biggest deal. And in doing those things, that allowed me to be as comfortable in my own skin, to be able to see colors on people, to know, hey, I better not go up to my mom right now because she's going to raise her voice and scare the crap out of me. So I think maybe I'll back off and maybe let her make that supper, or or let her go and change my sister's diaper, or do whatever at the time. So you can just see those type of colors, the anxiousness, the pettiness of people, true lies, the feeling of good, indifferent, afraid. Narcissists have a great color about them because they really don't have any. And that's a sad thing, but those are the kind of things that I see. How many of you, when I go online with you, say, hey, just like, I know it's hard, I know this is difficult, and you're going to be nervous, and those aura colors show up in just a wind whirl of colors all around you. But they do this on a clockwise way, and they're vibrant colors, and they're just waiting for you to settle down so that you can be prepared for me asking you some questions or giving you answers from the spirit world themselves. So this is what we're here for, and this is what we're doing. And my producer, Joe, who has helped me through thick and thin, he's not going to be seen tonight because he doesn't want to show himself and those kind of things. But I could not have done this without Joe. And Joe, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's amazing. I want to thank Jill, my wife, who's putting up with me as much as she can, and my amazing daughter, Amelia, who I love very much. And if I go on about this, I have a best friend named Chris and a very close friend named Paula. You two have always been a very strong part of my life, who have helped me through so many different things in the last 15 years of this new beginning of my life. So I want to thank you very much. So I want to open up the lines for all of you. And if you want to come on, that would be something really, really cool. And I'm trying to get away with not touching some of these buttons, and I'm just going a little bit crazy because this is the first one that will happen for you guys really quickly. And after you're done, this is what goes on. I can't hear it. Look at that. So that's awesome. I like that. Okay, so you get a big round of applause from me just for showing up. So let's just have some fun with this and come on board. Has anybody any questions for me as I go and take a look at our little chat room here? And Laura, you are ready to come on whenever I am. So Laura, why don't you step in and say hello to us here? And let's just see what we got. This will be interesting. Come on, Laura. And I'm waiting for Joe because this is all new. Look at me. I'm a little bit nervous about what Laura's going to ask. You see? We just don't know half the time. And he's working on it because Joe's just saying, oh my God, he's real. He's ready to do things. And that's awesome. In the interim, I want to ask many of you who have been doing some of this intuitive stuff, how do you feel about your abilities? My abilities I use and have used well for me to inform others of things that are going on. Some not always nice, but some very nice at the same time. My life coaching skills are different than everybody else because I get to talk to your past, present, and future type spirits who give me a lot of information ahead of time to see the type of blockages that you go through. And there's nothing better than listening to your guides and then telling you something and you're going, oh my gosh, that's really true. Please give me these answers or help me do this or help me sort some things out. So in doing so, this is something that is really, really important. And I think that being honest with yourself, being honest with a life coach, being honest with a therapist, being honest with a psychiatrist, if you're digging through 2.5 years of COVID and life has changed, loss of job, loss of family members, loss of friends, reconnecting with old friends or losing friends that you thought were a part of your life forever have now gone south and you don't even know why. And it's so hard to explain to people. They sometimes are not even obligated to have those answers. And what we do as human beings is we take those things to heart. We feel the biggest thing is the abandonment side. So when we lose those abandonment feelings and we have them with us, we just don't know what to do. So we're blaming ourselves for something that they might be going through that they don't want to discuss with us any longer, or we've outgrown them or they've outgrown us because we are at a certain level. We don't want to exceed that level. We just want to stay on the straight and narrow and just go by our day, work 9 to 5, get that over with, and do everything else. So we're getting somebody to sit up here, and this is actually recording in higher quality for this one. Well, hello, Laura.
Hi, nice to meet you, Jim.
Nice to meet you. And you are my very first person on my very first podcast with the most amazing smile, and I'm ready to talk.
Okay, thanks.
So, were you were coerced into doing this, or you just thought, hey, I might want to know a few answers or something? Is this how this is working?
Yeah, I kind of volunteered to be here tonight, so not so coerced, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited, a little bit nervous, but super excited too.
Thank you so much for doing this. So, Laura, what is your birth date and year, please?
Yeah, so it's February 5th, 1987.
Oh, the Aquarius, right?
That's right.
And you're trying to figure everything out this year because there's a lot of change for you, and you're just sort of getting into things, and you're going, I am more professional than my company sees me. I need to do something a little bit better because they are not listening to me anymore, and I'm ready to move on, and I'm ready to make myself available for somebody that will actually listen for a change.
That is so true. I actually have some friends who are following right now, and they will verify that I am ready for some change. And yeah, I'm ready to kind of like take a different turn in some of the work that I'm doing.
And that started with you as an Aquarius in early February, long before your birth date, right?
Yeah, that's
like, and you were trying to figure all of this out. And this, not that COVID held you captive, but it made you aware of your feelings for the first time, where you were just going through the motions. And now, as the Aquarius, they don't like to take any enemies. They like to move forward. You have a temper, by the way. That's kind of cool.
I hope my boyfriend's not on here watching to verify that.
I bet you he will. First thing, come on, let's talk about her. But no, I understand that the reason why you can raise your voice and want to be heard is because you're a very strong decision maker, but you cover off all boundaries. You look at a problem, you figure it out, you say you got to do it. Half the people listen and half the people ignore, and that's not true for everyone. But right now, because your voice isn't strong enough, or you're not showing how empowered you are in your job. So as soon as you have that voice coming on, I think that those things are going to work for you really, really well.
Okay.
And listen, you got to learn to cook better.
Oh my gosh. I made potato salad the other day, Jim, and my boyfriend said it was horrible.
Oh. Listen, he's got to be nicer about it and just say, do you think we can try a different recipe? That would be nicer, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But listen, the culinary art side of you don't really care about that. It's not what you want to do. You would rather be, Aquariuses would rather be wined and dined instead of having to make for other people boyfriends. So listen to that, okay, for a little bit. But your guide actually said, talk to her about her cooking, because that's something that's really different.
Okay, I'll definitely take that into consideration. Thanks.
Is there anything that you would like to know? Is there anything that you're curious about?
Oh, well, I didn't really have time to think about it, but I think just about like future next steps. I like that you touched about some of the professionalism, but how about something personal for me, Jim? Like, what do you see for me on just like a personal level in terms of steps moving forward?
So in the balance of 2022, a lot of your values for trust are going to get a little bit stronger. Been burnt in the past by a few people. And we're not naming names because that's not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
They should hold the wall of shame for treating you because you're empathic, you care, you give a lot of yourself to others, and you're not expecting the same thing, but at least you're looking for an even-keeled type personality.
Yeah.
You've never been ghosted, but you've decided that you need to ghost some people yourself because they are really throwing you off, and there's a little bit of jealousy attached to your beauty. There's a little bit of friends who are saying, how come you're not married yet? Right? Sorry.
Right.
But these choices are you as an Aquarius needed to make a career first before you were going to do anything else. So you're learning balance. But going into 2023, this is when you take the bull by the horns and you say, I'm in charge. I'm going to be doing this. So all of those things are going to be delightful for you. And you're going to follow through on the things that you've wanted. And the best thing about this, because of your birth date itself, you're not as selfish as most Aquariuses can be. So that's a bonus on that side. Other Aquariuses are going to go, am I selfish? But it's not so much about the selfishness. It's about giving and taking, and you do both of those, where a lot of Aquarians won't do that very often, even though they care a lot.
Yeah.
So that's about as personal as I want to get live and on TV.
Yeah, that's great, actually. Thank you.
And the boyfriend, is really trying to figure you out, because you can sit in silence sometimes, and he thinks that it's his fault, but it's not. You're just trying to sort things out and make sure that everything is copacetic for both of you.
Yeah, that's great.
And your last past life was that of a male, by the way, not a female.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the aggressive side of you is from that male perspective.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Thanks, Jim.
This was an honor to meet you. Thank you. And you can carry on and live your life. And I think I have somebody else in the queue.
Okay. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thank you for being my first guest. That's awesome.
Yeah,
thanks.
You. Have a good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Take care. You too.
Bye.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jim.
Oh, awesome. Welcome back. It's been a while.
It has been. How are you?
Oh my God. I'm a little bit nervous, but also very happy about this whole thing.
I'm so excited for you. This is fantastic.
You know, this is just another part of my definition, I guess, and what we can do and how we work on it. So it's really cool. So how's it been going? Because it's been at least 3 months since I saw you last.
Yeah.
And I need to know, did you get all the orange? Did you get your room done? Is that business side of you done yet?
So I'm sitting in my new office right now.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And things have taken a little bit different turn professionally. I'm prioritizing literally very recently. I decided to prioritize writing the book.
Look at you. Didn't we talk about that at the beginning of your life coaching career?
We did, and you really wanted me to push up the timeline, and I was like, no, I can't. I have to do it on my timeline. And literally this past weekend, it hit me because I have been writing, and I was like, I don't have to write War and Peace. I can do something smaller. I've already got all the courses. I've already got all the research. I've already got all the stuff. So, yeah.
That's absolutely. And just last week, I was talking to someone who works for a publishing house who's actually going to go into her own business to help people and get them involved so that they can find a good publisher, all the things that people go through when you're writing.
Yeah.
She's going to be able to deal with everyone and get that done. So it's been a while. What's your birth date and year? Or no, just give me your birth date. Don't give me
5/31.
Okay. So this is So this is the Gemini side of you right now. This is where you're going, yes, I'm going to do it. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. No, I'm not. You're arguing with yourself quite a bit, but you're not going to have to very much longer. You're going to be able to take charge of everything that you're doing, because as soon as you put pen to paper or fingers to typing, you're going to start going in the flow like you're doing right now. And from living with a writer, Jill is somewhat amazing in what she does, because sometimes she puts the ending in first to get everything else. Or starts in the middle and tries to progress and see where she's exactly going with that, or starts too many chapters and goes, holy shit, what have I just done? So there's
That's where I was.
But it's your creative side, your creative genius as a Gemini. And the problem here with all of you in the Gemini world is your perfectionism is overwhelming sometimes. Yeah. And you really got to sit back and take it easy. And it doesn't matter if you make a spelling mistake, because someone's going to take a look at your work anyway. but it's just a matter of getting all of that together so that you're going to work that out really, really well. But I do see something that's so promising for you, and it will really, really work for you.
Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, it just all kind of came together. I've been swirling around and I don't know, this isn't it. And what am I doing? And I was, maybe I should do more training, or maybe I need this. And then this past weekend, it just all kind of clicked.
And that's good, because as we go into the last few months of 2022, that's where everybody, all 12 birth signs, are going to start doing the hunting, gathering, start purpose now, because as we get into the season of fall into winter, we're looking at ourselves saying, we need to get things together, because I don't want to start 2023 empty-handed.
Yeah.
And so many of us are doing that because of what COVID's done to us. So we're all really thinking way ahead of schedule, and knowing what we need to do is something that's very, very good for you. And you are that forward thinker, and your business has always shown you that, and you've always been on time. You've not been delayed for anybody that you've ever worked with. So
that's true.
So the idea of putting a date on it is good for you, because it gives you some sense of, okay, I have this date, I need to get this done. I think that your relationship is saying, shit, it's finally she's going to do something like this that is her creative side that will calm her down, so maybe he can go golfing a little bit, So that's going to help him a little bit. But I think the big thing about all of this, and when we were talking in the past, you do have a partner that will back you up. So that's half the battle right there.
It really is.
So that's kind of cool. So I'm in love with this whole idea. I cannot wait to find out about the book, and then I can throw you off that publisher, and you can talk to her, and she can work with you. And
I'm psyched. You have been on my mind, like I said, the last several weeks, and I just kept thinking, no, it's not the right time. Things were too cluttered and it was too swirly. And then when I saw all this stuff about your podcast, and I said, oh my God, it's the right time.
Thank you. And yeah. I'm telling you, I'm doing this today, and I've got the jitters still, because I really have to do this focus, and I've never realized how many screens I have to look at the same time. So,
I can't even imagine. I'm glad you're trying this out, because it's a little overwhelming.
It's going to be fun, but I'm very, very happy for you.
Thanks.
And I'm going to have to move on to the next client.
No problem.
But I'm going to give you this. Elaine, thank you so much for joining me and having fun. And I'm sure I'll see you in the future.
I know you will. Thanks, Jim.
Bye, kid. Take care. Thank you. Hopefully we can put in Michelle, who wanted to come on the show earlier today, who is another life coach client who's just been working really hard on trying to identify things that she needs to get done. The full moon that happened last Thursday is still giving us an ability to manifest things and put things that we want to happen for ourselves right up until the 22nd of August. So we still have quite a few days left here to try and put those together. 6 more days of manifesting, writing things down, and asking for certain things to manifest. And they can be anything for anybody. For me, it's just to be very good on my very first show of White Noise. And we are getting there. So that's pretty good for all of us. It's just that we need to have the ability to trust ourselves in things that we do. We need to identify our issues as well. When I'm working with people and people wonder what I see in front of you, almost 90% of us have abandonment issues. And those are a big deal working with a psychic and a psychic medium, or anybody who's intuitive, because what we're looking for is that answer that someone will be there for us and not leave us anymore. And so when we're into that mode of uncertainty, and we're giving you information saying, hey, in a month's time, you're going to have a relationship. Like right now, anybody who's in Aries, anybody who's in Taurus, relationship issues, business issues, friends around you are very difficult to be able to do things. So in saying that, we need to figure out what needs to be done and how to work on them. So understanding the flow of things that you're doing, what I'm doing, what everybody else is that much more important. I sit here and do my notes with a lot of my clients that I work with and sort things out, because I just don't finish at 5 o'clock like everybody thinks we might do. It can go on for hours taking a look, trying to figure out what those triggers are that work with you. So in those triggers, trying to help you find boundaries, it's very interesting because so many of our population are doing the same thing. And what we're doing is just trying to control that environment. And I think we're getting Michelle in here. And can you hear me, Michelle?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome to my world.
Is this live?
This is live, young lady.
No.
Didn't we talk earlier today?
Yeah, we did.
So if what gives you insight when you and I talk, what helps you so much, Michelle?
Well, I think it's on so many levels, right? There's the energy work that you're doing, and then there's a very sort of gentle but firm way of pushing me into myself, into a better version of myself.
Right. But don't you think when we have that conversation, it's really, you've always been there. It's just that you needed someone to coax that person out a little bit.
Yeah, and I think with you specifically, you have, because you're intuitive and you're picking up on multi levels of things, you're able to sort of guide me into making decisions that are real and like what needs to actually happen versus someone that just gives advice or that you're
try and find solutions for those issues or those problems.
Yeah, it feels like it's definitely not just advice, that there's constructive and like actions that need to happen, and that like you empower those actions to happen so that the next thing can evolve,
And so you felt more empowered about yourself and how you're running your amazing business now as it is, and you're starting to feel like you're conquering things where probably 2 months ago you were feeling uncomfortable in what you were doing, right?
Yeah. I think I didn't know what I was doing. So I went from like not knowing at all, feeling very lost, to actually feeling like that it's manageable and that I can make these small adjustments that have a huge impact, and not just for me, but for the people around me. So the way in which I deal with, people that I work with, but then also just the amazing way that it's becoming part of how I help my family and how I address issues there. So there's this beautiful kind of ripple effect of all the effects of all the changes that are happening with me. So
I'm kind of happy because today you and I talked, and you were talking to your sister.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me sharing, and you shared a little bit with your sister, and it just was an epiphany for her in a way, and just she's moving on because of the strength that you have and what you've learned in this process of life coaching and running your business and doing something. And it made her feel good about what you gave her, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure she's going to pass those lessons on too. So it's not going to stop with her.
And that's what I like about this whole thing. It's just like, it's that ripple effect, and that's what's going to work. And because when we life coach somebody, and it doesn't matter if you're not in business or if you're working for someone, we also know that our family can be very controversial in our paths because we're trying to please them, but we're also trying to be an independent at the same time. And when we go to someone who we love so much at times, and we say, this is what we're doing, we'll get the novel War and Peace as to why we shouldn't be doing it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we give them only tidbits of information, enough to satisfy them to say, we're doing okay. And we only want a certain amount of obligation from you, which is a pat on the back, a hug and a kiss, and just say, go get them, tiger, kind of thing. We don't want them to make a decision saying, well, that's a long time. You shouldn't be working 20 hours a day. And sometimes we just have to do that in business, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the life coaching side has worked for you.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in the middle of it, and I'm excited to see like how it's going to continue, based on the experience that I'm having working with you. And just, I feel very fortunate that I think that the way in which you are coaching me specifically is very, like, I feel very supported. It's not just like, here's a quick phone call and let's go to it. I feel like I can like call you if I'm freaking out on something. You can give me some feedback. And it feels like someone has my back, which I think as an entrepreneur, as most entrepreneurs, actually, we probably all kind of go out into the world as these very independent, wanting to do things a particular way. Right. And
yes,
we're not sort of the followers, we're the leaders. And it's hard being that sometimes because it's a very lonely place to be leading in a direction that maybe hasn't happened before. We're trying to do something new. We're trying to do something different. And it can be a little bit daunting when no one else sees the vision. So I think that, having you at my back going, don't worry, gotcha, it's going to be okay is worth a lot, And
it's good for a life coach to be able to represent themselves that way and not say, I'm going to see you once a week and that's all you're getting from me. I want the ability for you to say, today I'm at a crossroad where normally I can't make that decision. This is the decision I'm going to make, but I would like to run it by you. And 99% of the time, you've made the right decision, but you just need that 1% of saying, wow, you don't need me anymore. You can do this on your own, kind of thing. Like it's good. I might have said maybe not to do a couple of things, and in business, as we know, and artistic as we are, we try not to put the emotion in it, but we use the business format, and we get that much stronger, Yeah. And that's what you've learned, I think, out of all of this. You try and reduce that emotion, even though you're full of this happiness or this rage or this competition, and then you're going, oh, hang on a second, I'm better than that person. I don't need your opinion. I'm going to do this anyway, and then it's going to blow up in a positive way. Or you can be empowered when you're working with a client and just say, no, that's going to fail. That's not going to work. And you won't lose touch with yourself because they paid you for your opinion and your advice, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, which is what I do. You take it or leave it, right? And you still, at the end of the day, you have to make your decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some of it comes from your past lives that we talked about, which is different that other life coaches don't do. And the male side of you, the
and the astrology too, which I love. I actually think astrology is amazing. So you bringing in those little I think it's just that I know those things, and that it's really cool actually that you have all the you have several different abilities to sort of pull in the right, say the right thing at the right time, just because you're, so knowledgeable on all fronts. So it's fascinating.
But there's also, and some of the good things that I try and teach people is we do have a business spirit amongst us at all times. Mm-hmm. Whether we use them or not, that's our responsibility. But they're the ones that always give us the right and the wrongs to do. Where they tell us to tell you something because it's going to be very, very good for you, or don't do that because it's not going to work. But again, it's a choice that you have to make, but it's a choice where we're giving the pros and cons with everything, because that's what our spirit guides try to do to us, is give us the pros and cons, you know? So it's a delightful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, and I've watched you grow in the last 5 weeks, and I'm just like, wow, this is awesome.
And I love how when I first met you, you were like, your spirit guide, she just wants to shake you.
Throttled you is what I think she wants to do. Because
Hilarious.
You were sitting there and you weren't making poor decisions. You weren't being aggressive enough towards.
Yeah, I was
right?
I think I was very stuck. I was just at a place where it was like I was hitting a wall. Yeah.
I think that this is where this leads to such empowerment towards you and the gifts that you have and all of those things. And I love the ability that you're going in with more decision-making, confidence. You're looking at things differently. You do a 360 in the room, not that you haven't done it before, but you're looking around, making sure that everything is perfect for you.
Yeah.
Or for the client. Right?
And from a slightly different position, right? Because I think that the position in which I was observing the world around me was a little bit, as you were saying, a little too empathetic versus, okay, that's their stuff, this is my stuff, and I need to do what's right for me. That I trust myself to, if I do things that are right for me, I trust that those things will lead to other things versus reacting or doing things completely for other people's benefit. So
we can exactly, and we can go in there, and someone might come in and just say, "Well, I've got hair of the dog on Monday," and you're just going to go to them. I don't give a shit what you have, but you better fix that because you've got work to do. Instead of, oh no, maybe you should have another drink and fix that. You know, that's not what we want to do. So it's kind of cool, and I like all of this. I'm just thinking on your level of how competent you feel and less reserved about saying something now where you wouldn't, and that's such a good thing. And that's what I want to give to other people, and even in not life coaching them, but just in a psychic reading and taking that 30 minutes and giving them as much information as possible for them to feel better. Or if it's a 50-minute where it takes 15 minutes just to calm the person down that I'm doing the reading to.
Yeah, and you do that very quickly. The other thing that you did that was amazing, and it happened in our first session, I felt it, was you cleared my throat chakra with Reiki. And I've had Reiki done before, lots of times, and I've never felt that be unblocked the way that you unblocked it. And it stayed like that. It didn't sort of like come back, the block didn't come back.
It didn't go away.
Which was like also kind of blew my mind. So yeah.
Thank you. But it's also myself as the intuitive having the ability to talk to your guides and just say, she's here to heal. She's here to do what she wanted to do in her soul's vision, and give her permission to have fun with this now instead of making it a chore every day.
Yeah.
So they work on that environment of yours, and they do stop you to eat every once in a while properly now too, which is good.
Yeah. Instead of just like grabbing
this and that and whatever. I want to thank you for coming on and explaining some things. And I'm humbled by your remarks, and I want to just, I need to do this for you before we go.
Well, if this is live, I'm going to tell everyone that's listening, you just, you have no idea until you just sort of step into it and give it a try, especially if you're not entirely a conventional kind of person and you're not interested in doing the same old. And you want to try something completely unique. I think you will be like pleasantly surprised on all the levels. So amazing. Thank you, Jim.
Michelle, thank you so much for that. It's amazing. And this is from me to you, and it'll come on here in a second. Thank you.
Oh, I love it.
I do too. And please enjoy yourself and have fun with everything that you're doing, and don't take no for an answer from anyone. Hey, people, we're back. It's 8:54. There's a few minutes left. I just want to take this time again to thank you, the client. We're going to get better at this. I know we are. And we'll see you in 2 weeks with a new guest that has been working, and he's on Instagram. He's just quite interesting, where he finds out all the history of people with near-death experiences and death experiences longer than 5 minutes, and what their stories have, what has happened to them, and the stories that have come out. With all of this kind of interesting things, that when I do see clients and they tell me their near-death experiences, and you can see the angelics around them, the spirits around them, protecting them. Their elders, if you're Aboriginal, the elders that are around you are phenomenal for all the pain that you've gone through, and how they protect you and how they watch out for you. And all of these things I have so much fun with. And it's just not me that has the gifted ability. It is all of you that have the same thing as me. And there is nothing better than to have you, not as a client, but I can call each and every one of you a friend. And I want to thank you for that. On me signing off right now, it's very ironic that I'm doing my very first podcast on my mother's birth date. Today would have been my mother's 82nd birthday. She passed away going into her 40th year. I was a young kid back then, not knowing anything, but was given enough tools in my shed to be able to be empathic, empathetic, work with people, try and do my best, and be as honest as I can with as many people as I can. I know that we all try hard not to hurt people's feelings, and we try hard to be with someone that is important to us. We all want to feel love. We all want to feel camaraderie, and we don't want to have the feeling of abandonment. And the next best thing to not feeling abandoned is just to talk to someone. Always feel that you can talk to someone. There is always so many things out there. It could be a friend, it could be a relative, it could be a coworker. And if they don't offer their time, just say, would you have 5 minutes to spare? And I'd like to tell you something. If they figure that you're weird, then you picked the wrong person, then that happens. It's not a big deal. But at least you're letting things out, and we know that there are issues. I just want you all to be happy, because my mother taught me to love people, to respect people as best as I can. And the people that have hurt me and have a hate on for no reason, I can't do anything about that. And I've learned that only this year. And they have to move on to their journey. I move on to mine. I'm not losing sleep over anybody anymore. And I hope that you do the same. So happy birthday, Pauline Kozlak Hunt. And her husband, Norm, my dad, was two of the greatest people in the world. There they are. And that was just a few years both before they passed away. So I want to thank them very much for putting me on this planet to have another life, to have many opportunities. And everyone, thank you so much on my first show, White Noise. Anybody who wants to become a guest who is anything to do with the paranormal, if you're an author of a book and you want to discuss that book, let's get together and let's talk about it. Let's have some fun. I really think that all of you are the most amazing people I've ever met in my life, and I wish you all the best. I have some questions that were in here, and listen, I would like to continue doing this, but there were a lot of little quirks that we had to get out, and I will look at these and I make sure that I can answer these questions. Yvonne, send me something on my website and I'll answer that question for you. Sharon Henry, I will answer your question too. Please send me that information. And don't be afraid. Just ask and I'll do the best to answer them to you. Much love from me. Joseph, thank you so much for getting this going on the road. You're amazing. my first guest. Awesome. Thank you so much. Learn to cook and just have a lot of fun with everybody. So from me to you, thank you so much for this first show. I hope to see you all very soon. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a new guest. And we'll ask him the questions and we'll go from there. And then I will go right to my audience and ask questions, answer questions that you have for me. Again, thank you again. Take care. Peace, everyone.